Hello guys and welcome to my official breakdown of Bleach 1000 Year Blood War Core 3's trailer. Now I'm going to divide this video into a few parts. First, we're going to talk about the content of the trailer. I'm going to tell you the things that are in it, what might be interesting about it. Secondly, we'll talk about the staffing status, since obviously a lot of people have very strong opinions on the differences that have happened within the Bleach animation staff structure. And thirdly, I'm going to speculate on the kind of differences that could be coming on the horizon for Bleach 1000 Year Blood War Core 3. So stick around, I hope you guys enjoy it, and of course if you do, remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Okay, so let's get started here. I will be utilizing the video that's on Aniplex's YouTube channel right here. You can get it if you want right here. That's what I'll be using because I just don't want to see subtitles right now. Anyway, so the first thing that we got here was the key visual. Now, the key visual is a callback to one of Bleach's color pages, a shot where Ichigo, a shot of the Soul Society crew, Ichigo, Ganju, Orihime, Chad, and Uryu, except this time they've upgraded everyone to the 1000 Blood War forms and Uryu is not present, and they specifically leave Uryu's position absent. I think this is a very unique directorial choice for a key visual. It tells me that whoever made this call has a very deep understanding of Bleach, the choice to use the Soul Society crew, because in many ways the 1000 Year Blood War crew you see here is a callback to Soul Society arc. Like, Kubo makes it a point to reference the fact that all of them together like this, including Yoruichi, is just like them going to save Rukia, except this time Rukia isn't here, but also Uryu isn't here. One of the things that I enjoy about this trailer immediately, which should tell you what's about to happen here, is the call of everybody going Bankai. It just allows you to understand the scale of what's about to happen. Everybody is just going Bankai, and it's awesome. Now, I'm going to jump ahead because the middle portion here just has to do with an AMV of the past cores. So I'm going to jump ahead to when we get to Shinsui. So right here. So here we see the Blood Warfare, which is referencing the first core. Now, I want to talk about this. This is Shinsui Kyoraku in his battle against Lilibaro when the Soul Society Shinigami attacked the Varvald. Now, a few things that I'm noticing here. Number one, we finally hit the part of the 1000 Year Blood War arc where the color palette goes to purple and black. If you remember, in Core 1, it was basically Soul Society was a desaturated gray, the Karakura Town was very normal, Rekumunda was a neon green, and Vondenreich was a very deep blue. When we went into Core 2, they decided to go with the red and blue color palettes, with the skies being red and the buildings being a very dark blue. Now that we're in the Core 3 section of the story, you find that it would seem that the Varvald Ice Palace has a purple palette to it, and the sky is dark black. Let me know what you think about this color choice in the comment section down below. I, for one, will say that this works. I really like the purple on black. I didn't really love the red on blue, but I'm loving this purple on black. Anyway, let's carry on. Now, this is Shinsui about to use his Bankai against Lilibaro in what you might assume will be the biggest portion of Core 3, but I would say with Ichigo going up against Uryu, which we'll see in a second, it might actually be Ichigo versus Uryu, but we'll see. There's a lot of good that's coming in this core, that's for sure. So here, this is one of the biggest changes that you'll see. We'll talk about the changes in more depth once we get to that section of this video. However, if you weren't aware, there's a lot of directorial story changes that's going to happen. One of the biggest ones that we know of is Ichigo is going to go up against Uryu. This is Ichigo versus Uryu. I'm pretty sure of it. Now, this is Ichigo, and he's going up against Uryu. One of the ways that I know it's Uryu, aside from the fact that we know that Ichigo's going to fight Uryu anyway, is the fact that no Quincy character utilizes this much arrows other than Uryu. Like, Yuha doesn't do a lot of arrow stuff. The Shostoffel doesn't do a lot of arrow stuff. It's clearly Uryu is the one guy who's among the Quincy who still goes old school with heavy arrow usage. As you can see, there is a clear directorial change here, and I'm going to talk more about the director breakdown when I get to that section of the video. But there's a very clear impetus from the Bleach staff to have more dynamic animation, and they just made it a point. We need more dynamic movements. We need more choreography, and that's exactly what we're getting here. Yeah, can I just say, it must be so hard trying to draw Ichigo moving that well. It's probably so difficult. Look at how complicated his dressing is. Like, you have to draw every frame of that. That must be so annoying. Like, look at it. Like, the amount of detail that goes into Ichigo's movement with all the wrappings and the designs, it must be so difficult trying to animate fluidly with character designs as complicated as Bleach. Obviously, here you have Uryu. Uryu most likely set up bombs and Ichigo's evading them. I would imagine that when Uryu was firing his arrows in the previous scene, each arrow that would strike the ground or whatever was also setting up traps. And, you know, once Ichigo started running off, the traps started exploding and he started evading, which is what we'll see in just a second. Yeah, but that's most likely what this is. Uryu set up traps and now they're detonating. Good stuff. I think it's good stuff, honestly. Okay, so this section of the trailer, we find that Ichigo has a second battle against one Yhwach. One criticism that I'll give, because this is not all going to be great or good, I do have some criticisms here. I think that the VFX choices for Bleach 1000 Year Blood War since Core 1, or really since the first half of Core 1, have taken a pretty drastic hit. The Ryotsu aura choices feel very chaotic, and not in a good way. The way they just, I don't know if any of you would agree with me, but it just completely overpowers everything on the screen. Like, the orange is just so strong. I don't know if you guys would agree with me on it, but anyway. Ichigo fires a Getsuga Tensho at Yhwach, which we're gonna have a new and improved Ichigo versus Yhwach. Don't be so sure you know what will happen. Kubo's changing a lot of stuff. For this section of the trailer, we have Ichibe Hyosube and his battle against Yhwach continuing. This is probably where the story is going to pick up. It's going to end that fight before we get into any Ichigo stuff, before we get into any Shinsui and other Soyuber stuff. Ichibe is obviously about to undergo his Bankai transformation. That's what he's doing. He's about to use a Bankai ability with the heavy ink usage. What do you think about the fact that they chose to do this with, it's gray, you know, it's black and white really, but the outlines are red? Let me know what you think about this. I don't know if people like this or not. I enjoy it. I think it's unique. And he summons a bunch of graves, which, don't ask me why he's summoning graves. Honestly, I don't know what the correlation is between Ichibe's power of black and graves, but he's summoning a bunch of graves around him, which look very 3D, and skulls. Although the Mausoleum of Skulls is very Ichibe-esque, so yeah, actually, it probably makes sense, actually. Alright, so Ichibe and Yhwach continued. Alright, now for those of you blue sky enthusiasts, we do have a few of that for you, which I enjoy. Which is kind of why I haven't been too bummed up about the whole sky thing, because we can agree that of all the sky choices that you can make, a blue sky will always, at bare minimum, be acceptable. Just bare minimum, a blue sky will mostly always work. Now, other sky colors could maybe give you a lot more variety, and it could initiate and instill different feelings depending on the scene. But the one thing that 1000 Year Blood War decided to do, at the very least, is give you multiple ones, so that you get a feel for many different kinds. Some work, some don't, but I do like that they give you variety. Alright, here we have Yhwach standing. I'm pretty sure, well, for one, his clothes are super clean. super clean. No stains on his white. I'm pretty sure he has the Almighty activator right about now, but we'll see in just a second. But very good animation. I mean, I know people are gonna laugh at me. I like the cloak work that's happening. Let me just put it that way. The shot composition, it's all great. Some people will laugh at me, but I don't care. I like it. And here you go. This Yhwach in its almighty form. Now, what I will say about this scene right here is, if you guys remember opening 1, and I'll put it here for you guys to see, this shot is from opening 1. Except instead of the pink sky, black and white format, it's now fully colored. But that is animation reused from the opening, which I'm pretty sure Yamashita might have been the one doing that. Yamashita might have been the one who drew that, and now it's here. And of course, it looks great. It looks utterly amazing. Alright, here you have Yhwach powering up. I'm pretty sure Yhwach is about to clash with Ichigo, but, you know. Also, I'm not a Sakuga guy, That right there looked like Yamashita, but we'll see. I don't know. I'm not a Sakuga guy, but that looks like Yamashita. I feel like I know him when I see him, but we're waiting for confirmation. We'll see. It's just Yamashita, and for those of you, some of you may know, some of you may not know. Yamashita is the guy who was in charge of episode 6 of Bleach, and he's the guy who animated that very well animated Kumamoto returning to a wolf scene, and he's like Naruto's ace. Hiriki Yamashita, Piro's ace. We know him. He's been gone for a minute. Like, he did a lot of work on episode 6 and then sort of disappeared, kind of, and appeared a little bit in Core 2, but in very, very small bits and pieces. So everyone's just been wondering, well, where is this guy? There were some rumors that he was in Kaiju number 8. That didn't come true. So we generally don't know what he's been working on. He could have just been working on Bleach this whole time. We'll see. But I hope he was, because this looks like Yamashita to me, but we'll see. So this is Yuha versus Ichigo. Yes, Yuha versus Ichigo 2. So they clash, and this is what I'm talking about in reference. Look at that. That is hilarious. That is hilarious. Go easy on them, guys. Go easy on them. Go easy. This part is not Yamashita, that's for sure. Go easy on them, guys. Go easy. I paused it at a terrible moment. This is what I'm talking about the VFX overload. I don't know if you would agree with me, but like the VFX is just like it's a little too much. You know, like it's over. Maybe the video quality isn't doing it justice, but it feels like it's just overpowering everything. In any case, so these guys are fighting. It'll be very interesting to see what we get here. Ichigo, that's very nice impact frames right there. That was good. But I mean, look at Ichigo's aura here. That's a bit much. That is a bit much. It's not terrible, but man, that's overload. Here we have Yuha. He still has his almighty, and he appears to be, well, I guess he's about to fire this at somebody. And then we have this. So right here, you can see the Soul King in the background right there. He's been cut already, which those of you who've read the manga, you know what that is. And then we have Uryu, Pernida, Lilibaro, Jugrim, Gerard Valkyrie, and Askin Nakalavar. And they're all here, and they're, I don't know exactly what they're doing, but they've obviously been let out of Shinjumo's Bankai. They've succeeded in pushing Ichigo and Ko back down to where they were, I assume. And now Yuha is probably about to take over the Soul King. The interesting thing here that I'll say is that this image reminds me of the opening for Core 2. The opening sequences for Core 2 showed everyone raising their hands towards baby Yuha that was red, and it was like he was drawing their power. I wonder if he's asking them to release their power into him so he can do whatever it is that he's trying to do. Interesting stuff nonetheless. Here you have Yuha's sword, the one he used to defeat Yamamoto. It's something that I have to look at. I wonder if Yuha in the manga used that specific sword against Ichigo, because I feel like after that point, Yuha would manifest like an actual blade, not a reishi blade. I'm pretty sure he was manifesting an actual blade. But here, you can see Yuha used the sword he used to defeat Yamamoto. That's really good. Alright. So, again, we don't know if Yuha exactly did this, but somebody just blew up the inner holy shrine. Here you have Shinsui Kyotoku, and I'm assuming this is, well, the red hue tells me we're still in Soul Society. We're still in the Serite. So maybe this is Shinsui reacting to something Ukitake is doing. Because this red hue tells me we're still in the Serite. You have Ukitake, Mimihagi-sama. It'll be interesting to see that. Yeah, Mimihagi right there. We've got dynamic scenes for Ikkaku, Shuhei, and Yumichika. It'll be fun to see them do something. So, no complaints there. We have Renji. It would seem that maybe Renji gets more fights. I hope that's the case. I really hope that's the case, and I'll talk more in the additions section of this video. But Renji getting another fight is very important, and it should happen. The same with Rukia. Right, and also, does anyone find it strange that all the auras are now orange? Does anyone find it strange? Like, was it always that way? Like, I mean, in 1000 Year Blood War, was it always that way? Where Shinigami just get orange aura? Because I know like Ishin got orange, Ichigo got orange, Renji has orange here. I wonder if that's now the Shinigami color. Like the Shinigami color now is considered orange and the Quincy aura is considered blue. That's what hollow auras are considered red, I believe. Fullbring auras are considered green, maybe. Is that what they're going for? Probably what they're going for. But Renji looks good here. We have Mayuri Kurotsuchi. He's probably going up against Pernita Parkinjaws. Looking, I mean, okay, here's another point where I would like to know what you guys' opinion is. So, this is Pernita fighting against Mayuri, obviously. But, what do you guys think about the lighting of the scene? How dark it is? Because this might be exactly how the fight goes. The fight happens, I believe the fight happens at night, maybe? Because Yuha might be asleep during this time. So, maybe this is exactly what it's going to look like, straight up. Actually, is that why the sky is black? It's not. The reason why the sky is black in this scene isn't because Yuha did anything. It's just because it's nighttime. And so when it was daytime, it was just blue skies. And now it's nighttime, it's just black. For a second there, I thought that Yuha did something to the sky. He probably didn't do anything to the sky. It's just nighttime. Alright, Mayuri looking very ominous. Here you have Uryu. Uryu is going to have a lot to do. The redemption of Uryu Ishida will be televised and we will be there. Because this bro is looking gas in so many ways, I have to admit. I'll talk about what seems to be the possibility of Uryu versus Mayuri later on. I'll talk about that possibility in a second. But don't be surprised if that happens. Here you have Uryu using Hidden Kyaku, which is like he's mastered the Quincy basics, and he's seemingly breaking out of Senjumaru's Bankai, which is insane. And here he's either using Blood Venom on his eyes, which I don't think this is Blood Venom on his eye. I mean, I don't think this is Blood Venom because the Blood Venom outline looks slightly different. This has to be something else. He's doing something else here. For all we know, this could be the antithesis at work. Whatever the case, I'm very interested to. Actually, maybe it is Blood Venom. Like this spot right here. Like this part isn't as much Blood Venom because the veins were much stronger. But it's probably just Blood Venom. Yeah. Anyway, we'll see. Now here, this is daytime. I think this is definitely Ichigo versus Uryu. I think so. Uryu is looking really, really, really good. The animation on this is really impressive. Very dynamic. Now, what in the world is this? I have no idea what this is. I thought, and I assumed that this is the Gate of the Sun. Because, I mean, it has to be the Gate of the Sun. I don't know how it could be anything else, but we'll have to see. But the shot composition here is great, I think. We're going to have Bazby versus Jurgrim. Also going to be a very emotional bout. You got Jared the Valkyrie doing his thing. Pernita Parkinjaws CGI. You know, we'll talk about that in a second, but Pernita Parkinjaws is going to be CGI. Probably. You got Askin Nakalavar. We got Lilibaro. You got him transforming. I wonder how you guys feel about Lilibaro's hue being green. I've seen some people not be happy about it, but you know, when you look at Lilibaro, it was always either going to be white or green anyway. I wasn't really with the golden or whatever it actually was. Got Nanao, she's talking to Shinsui. We got Mayuri Kurotsuchi. I think he was sewing his arm back together. You got Nemu. Nemu's going to have her moment to shine. You've got Ichigo in the Inner Holy Shrine with, you see, now that feels like Blood Venom, but maybe I should stop classifying it as Blood Venom. Yo, what a swing. Ichigo swung that sword. How very Murata. We'll talk about Murata in a second, don't you worry. Okay, here we have Ichigo going up against Yuha, and yeah, like, I'm sorry, it's just the color palette with the auras is just so strong. I wish they would just like tone it down a bit, but we'll see. They just need to tone it down a bit. Anyway. Okay, so next, let's go to part 2 of this video, talking about the staff. The first thing I'm going to hit on here is Puro Films. So, what day was this? July 5th, so about 2 days ago, they released this statement in relation to Puro Films, which essentially says, "We rebranded our second studio to Pierrot Films in February of 2024 with, quote, "Make anime that wows" as a motto. Pierrot Films will commit to bringing one-of-a-kind visual experience to the world while continuing to uphold Pierrot's creative values. Pierrot's headquarters studio, Studio Pierrot, will continue to work closely with Pierrot Films, bringing the best out of each other and ever evolving in tandem to deliver high-quality anime to the world. Now, for context about Pierrot Films, it's a sub-studio that has been rebranded into Pierrot Films that is being essentially headed by BLEACH's producer, Tominaga. And from Tominaga's statements months ago, he essentially is trying to create a sub-studio that could give quality animation and quality work the likes of Jujutsu Kaisen and Demon Slayer. As to whether or not he can do it, we will have to see, but I just wanted to start with that. Another bit of information that we got here in relation to the news with Pierrot Films is we got this comic, essentially. Now, I haven't gotten anybody to give me like a bona fide word-for-word translation of this. The best I've been able to get is people just telling me what it basically says. And what I can surmise from this is that this frog guy right here is Taguchi. Alright? So, from now on, it's like Taguchi is the frog dude, okay? And I think Taguchi here is talking about Pierrot Films, which is this right here, being rebranded. Studio Pierrot, which is being rebranded into Pierrot Films over here. And then he's sitting at this desk working. Now, this individual right here seemingly are the Pierrot overlords, the bosses, if you will. It says, so I think this panel says the road to no return or so. And then we have Pierrot Films, a studio with high quality production, has created a new brand. That's Taguchi right here. And this is Studio Pierrot going to Pierrot Films. And then over here, in order to make a high quality production, you must pour your heart and soul into it. And to make a high quality production, a studio needs to be highly motivated. I'm not sure who is saying that, but somebody is saying that here. And then I think Taguchi's the one saying that. And then the Pierrot overlord over here says, no matter how many times you redo the animation, the quality won't improve if the staff isn't motivated. They must be passionate about their work. And so then we have over here, Taguchi, however, no matter how many times you redo, and so you have the last portion over here, that's why the studio has to be a fun place to work. High quality, the best. We want to be a fun studio. Now, the point here, at the end of the day, even if the translation is a little bit off, here's the point. A sub-studio of Studio Pierrot is being rebranded into Pierrot Films. Taguchi is working very hard on giving out a good product, and it would seem that the Pierrot Films overlords seem to care about creating a good working environment for the animators and producing high quality work, regardless of time. Which is, you can spin that however way you want. It might be good, it might be bad, but a key point they seem to be echoing here is whether you're given more time or less time, the staff has to be motivated. You could spin that into a negative assumption right there. I could spin it if I wanted to, but I won't. So that's what I'll leave you there with on this section. So Taguchi working very hard. And the fact that they did this comic, to me, it makes me feel like Taguchi himself is going to be doing a lot more, especially when it portrays him to be at his desk working. Because Taguchi by trade is a storyboarder. He's a storyboarder and he's a director. He's not really an animator. And so the fact that they're depicting him at his desk working actively, it makes me wonder if he's going to be doing more. I hope he's going to be doing more. All right. Now let's talk about the staff changes. So this is the portion that I feel that a lot of people have very strong opinions on, including myself. I'm going to do my best to echo my true sentiments here. I'm not going to be getting into arguments on Twitter over this. As for the people who see this, you take my opinion and we move on. Because I'm not about to be doing this weird stuff that's occurring on Twitter and whatnot with the trolling or whatever it is. This is real. We're just being real over here. Tomohisa Taguchi, the series director for BLEACH for Core 1 and Core 2, has been repositioned as a chief series director. This is not a new thing in the anime industry. It's happened with multiple shows that you've probably watched and you've probably loved. But he's now been taken from series director to chief series director. in reality, we are not exactly sure on what changes this makes in terms of his responsibility and his handiwork. He is still there. He has just been promoted to something called a chief series director. The one who has taken his place as a series director is one Hikaru Murata. That is where the so-called, quote, controversy comes in, because Murata, as a storyboard artist, has not ingratiated himself very well to the Bleach populace who know him, because we've seen the storyboards. He storyboarded episodes like episode number 4, he storyboarded parts of episode number 26 and directed the entire thing. He storyboarded parts of episode number 10, which episode 10 wasn't all bad. However, and so I fully understand people who see Murata being a series director and feel as though that maybe he's not really fit to be on that level. However, on the flip side, it must be said, while Murata may not be an expert storyboarder, it's possible that Murata is actually maybe a good director. Like, it's possible that he's not a good storyboarder, but he's a good director. In that, maybe by way of repositioning Taguchi into this position as a chief series director, it'll free him up from doing all the day-to-day activities that a series director would do. Pardon my expression here, but maybe the goal here is make Murata a series director so he does all the meetings and the fancy paperwork so that Taguchi can go do some actual stuff. I don't know that for sure, I'm simply speculating, because it's very possible for two things to be true. Murata is not a good storyboarder. Murata might be a good director. And so make him stop storyboarding and get him to direct, and maybe we can do something there. However, even though he is the series director, this is important, even though he is the series director, he is not the main director. Taguchi is still the main director. And so when something goes bad, it's still Tomohito Taguchi. Your head is what's on the chopping block. If it's something good, Taguchi, your head is still on the block to be praised or to be scorned. Because he, as a director, is just doing your bidding. He's just working under you. You're still the chief series director. And so the interpretation, the direction, the aesthetic, all those things are still coming from this man right here. Whether or not that makes you feel good or bad is up to you. Another main difference that we've had here is the chief episode director. Now, the chief episode director of Core 1 and 2 was Hikaru Murata. Now that Murata has stepped up to series director and Taguchi has stepped up to chief series director, Dolly Chen has been put as a new chief episode director. Now, you will know Dolly Chen's work from his direction in Bleach 1000 Year Blood War episode number 19, The White Haze, Rukia vs. As Not. The person who was directing that episode is Dolly Chen, and he did a phenomenal job there. He's seemingly been upgraded and promoted to chief episode director, where seemingly he will be in charge of Bleach 1000 Year Blood War Core 3's episode as a whole. You know, there are many layers of filtering that goes on over here, filtering all the way to the top. He's now assumed Murata's prior position. So do not be surprised if he's directing a lot more, if he's storyboarding a lot. Well, I don't know how good of a storyboarder he is, but do not be surprised if he's directing a lot more. For the action and effects animation directors, we have Satoshi Sakai, Takashi Hashimoto, and Atsushi Wakabayashi. Can somebody let me know because Sakai was doing a lot of work on Shangri-La Frontier. Is that done? Because hopefully if that's done, maybe we can finally get bro to actually do work on Bleach, because he's doing so little. Also, Takashi Hashimoto, didn't he injure his arm? Wasn't he pseudo-retired? How is he still working? And Wakabayashi, isn't bro like 75? What are we doing here? Get some young blood in here, guys. Come on. Anyway, we'll see how good they do. But me seeing this, I was like, dang, Sakai is focusing so much on other shows. Hashimoto was pseudo-retired with his wrist broken or something. And Wakabayashi is like 85. He's not 85, but he's old. So anyway, so I guess we'll see what we'll do in regards to that. Okay, so so let's move to the final part of this breakdown. The final part of this breakdown has to do with the possible differences that we're going to see in the new anime as opposed to what happened in the manga. So some of the standout battles that I anticipate that we'll see here is, first of all, Ichigo vs. U-Haul Part 2 seems to be extended. Good, we're happy with that, we want it. Second, Ichigo vs. Uryu. In the manga, Ichigo vs. Uryu basically wasn't even that much of a fight. They scrapped for like 2 pages, and that was it. It would seem that here, we're getting a full-on Ichigo vs. Uryu battle. And this is important because it's necessary. In the manga, Kubo was very clearly building to Ichigo going up against Uryu. It doesn't mean that Ichigo will have to beat Uryu. It doesn't mean that Uryu had to beat Ichigo. Even if it ended in a stalemate, it was so clear that it was going to be Ichigo standing on the side of the Soul Reapers against Uryu standing on the side of the Quincy, a call back to their prior battle during the Agent of the Shinigami arc, the first arc of Bleach. In the manga, we barely got that. When we came to the anime, they decided to push that idea even more in the anime, with all the dueling character posters for Ichigo in orange and Uryu in blue, with all the hinting in the anime in of itself. It was so clear that we were building to a monumental clash between one Ichigo Kurosaki and one Uryu Ishida. And now it would seem that we're about to get it. Uryu versus Mayuri. I know that some people feel a certain way about it, and some people may not think that that's going to happen. I would not be surprised if they include an Uryu versus Mayuri skirmish in there. Let me tell you why this makes sense. A lot of things are going to be different in Core 3. Like, do you guys realize how close we are to the end of Bleach and we still have 2 full cores to go? We are in new territory here. Do not get attached to the way things happened in the manga. Take my advice, do not get attached to it. I am not saying that I know exactly how this is going to go down, but don't think that, oh, well, Mayuri was fighting against Pernita, so there's no way Uryu and Mayuri could fight. You don't know that. You actually do not know that. Now, if it doesn't happen, sure, but I want to pose this to you. I think it should happen. You want to know why? Uryu versus Mayuri is a rivalry that actually should be revisited, because Uryu should have a bone to pick with Mayuri Kuratsuchi. Now, Uryu did the mature thing. He let it go. You know, Mayuri saved his life on multiple occasions after that, and they would just water under the bridge or whatever. I think that it would give Uryu a certain edge if he actually fought against Mayuri. He doesn't have to beat Mayuri, he doesn't have to kill Mayuri, but just to showcase that Uryu's level now. Like, if Uryu fights against Mayuri and overpowers him and outsmarts him, that is enough of a sign-off, in my opinion. That already does leagues and bounds to Uryu's character, already. If he can outsmart and overpower Mayuri Kuratsuchi, Kubo's favorite character. So, yes. Will it happen? I don't know. Do I want it to happen? Absolutely yes. Another thing about Uryu. Uryu breaking out of Senjumaru's Bankai. We still don't exactly know how they're going to do it. It'll be very interesting to know exactly what they do, but I would not be surprised if Yuha does indeed not help Uryu, and Uryu just breaks out on his own, which would be great for Uryu's character. He's getting so much gas and I love it. Another thing to think about. How many new fights are we giving to Renji and Rukia, for example? Because we saw a shot there where Renji was powering up. Now, it could be anything, we don't know. But I want to put it this way. I'm one of those people who believes that Renji had like one fight too short in Thousand Year Blood War in the manga. Let me pose this to you. I believe that Renji and Rukia need to have one more fight before Thousand Year Blood War is done. They need to utilize their Bankai in an effective, important scene before all is said and done. Because it's a crime that we only got to see Hakuno Togame once. And it's a crime that we only really got to see Soho Zabimaru once. There needs to be more, and I think we are going to get that more. Okay, so I think I've covered everything for now. Yeah, okay, so I think that's everything for now. So, let me know what you think about this in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next Rebirth video. This is your boy, signing out until the next video. Peace out.